What's up guys? So today I'm gonna talk about the 4 levels of association of the levels of let's say to the most basic, more surface level, but can still inform us even if it's the most apparent and the most basic one, to the most profound, let's say, and the less basic. So it's kind of 4 levels that actually help me see and kind of attribute what is missing to a system, a typology system, or some kind of blind spot in the theory, or even attribute that to certain blind spot that we have, the different axes that we operate with. So universally, meaning if we isolate the level, it will be to a certain categories, and that's what I mean by universal. So that might make more sense when I will illustrate it. So the universal level of each level, So behavior is more in terms of if you know more the emotion that you show now, or the kind of expression now, the behavior, just that you show to people, and it can be very surface level. It's like taking things at face value, anecdotes, that. After it's mechanics. Mechanics, it's a little more profound. It's more like, okay, I see that this person seems to do a behavior, but like repetitively. What kind of mechanics, what kind of things they are doing. It's more time of doing rather than behavior, maybe more feeling wise, Mechanic is more T. Cognitions, it's actually more TI, so it's more the inner working of your brain, kind of accessing, how do you arrive at a conclusion, what is your process, the kind of qualities of your cognition. It's more something that is TI, right? And the instincts, more like the deeper root cause. That's kind of the deeper level. What kind of are your let's say your profound kind of feeling that you want to grasp with, that your motivation, kind of more in that sense, the instincts. I think they are more with FI. So we can see the potential blind spot of someone axis, or a theory, what the theory is doing. So first of all, mechanics and instincts are together. Behavior and cognition are together with the axis. So oftentimes what I see, so a certain system that might prefer cognition, the problem that it will face is that it will have a problem with describing the mechanics. So someone doing something repetitively is actually something that is cognition-wise for the cognitive system, and it's kind of like a large bank of behaviors, and now that would collapse, and that would make cognition, So in typology system, there's some system like that, not so much. Most systems are actually instincts and behaviors, mechanics, like OPS is actually mechanics and instincts. And even very popular one, but popular one actually they don't try to do this cognition aspect, while OPS might do it. So instinct is more that something that is motivational at the bottom, and that will emerge some mechanics. It's more something OPS is doing. So I guess motivation system. So in essence, it's a motivation system. It's the only one that is aware of it, because of the saviors and demons. You're very aware that people have certain charges. So psychoanalysis, Carl Jung, Freud were aware of that. So they actually focus more on the instincts, more than conscious and all that. Defense mechanism, exactly with the mechanics too. So their blind spot were actually more on cognition and behavior. But I think because Carl Jung was more TI, he actually dug deeper in that cognition aspect. And we can see that the hierarchy in of itself, of the stack, that other systems don't like to do, like Big Five or Enneagram, and they don't attribute connection. They think it's more motivation, more something deeper, more something the instincts. Well, kind of the stack of MBTI is actually more something that tries to map cognition. But in our day and age, what is doing cognition is actually neuroscience and biology. So we think that if you do a kind of NF, SF system, or psychology system, you just, and without science about cognition, it will be seen as pseudoscience. So that's what will happen. So the Big Five is actually not using a hierarchy, it's more using a scale. So the scale is actually kind of something that is more easy acceptable. It's more like mechanics, kind of with some kind of instinct in a way, but it's really not assessing the cognitions. The behavior is somewhat okay with Big Five. Kind of try to predict that, but it's actually like the cognition aspect, and it doesn't want to do it because it's actually more the domain of biology or neuroscience, which can be valid and in some sense not valid, because it kind of blocks the process in certain ways, but whatever. While Carl Jung and MBTI and OPS, you do more the hierarchy, and with the hierarchy kind of emerge some kind of mapping of cognition and instincts even deeper, while the horizontal scale is more the surface level, you can say, even if it can map out very well that. It's like you leverage the behaviors and the mechanics, and something would emerge after that. But the opposite is not seen as good. Like starting with instinct and cognition. They will say they start with instinct and cognition, but they will not try to map out the symbolic kind of underlying structure, which will require some MF in psychology, and we don't want to do that necessarily, because we think that the ST bottom-up is king, rather than assessing a top-down approach with just doing symbolic fundamental categories and trying to see the saviors and the demons with them. Kind of an OPS good language you can understand, but people will just think you're crazy if you just say that. But if you see the symbolic fundamental categories in a top-down, maybe people outside might understand that better. But yeah. So that's more, let's see. So the hierarchy is seen as interestingly kind of bad, because it's kind of doing a cognition process, which it doesn't have to do it according to science. So that's kind of my talk there. I guess I can say that OPS problem is actually that it assessing cognition. So the instincts in themselves, having the symbolic kind of association with a certain function will kind of create the fact that they implicitly think that it will be like the cognition is in the instinct, which can be true because that kind of level is relatively true universally, that if you assess the instincts, in some sense everything will kind of fall to it, but the problem is that they will infer some cognition aspect, which can be which is okay, I think it's actually okay. It's more like something that maybe a more precise pathways and ways to really kind of see the brains how it operates kind of assess that. Maybe with AI we can actually map that more clearly, so that we can actually pin the different kind of cognition association with the types or the instincts, the the saviors, demons of the different types, and now they emerge in cognition, because even if we are the same instinctual type or instinctual function, we'll still have some similar cognition, we can say, but that's still a simplification, let's say. And the behaviors aspect too, like OPS will have trouble with anecdotes. Like the anecdotes, they always offer some kind of mechanics, which is generally true, but will kind of miss the mark in kind of social behaviors or the social aspect, culture aspect. It will miss the mark with that. So I guess because of Carl Jung, we actually have cognition and instinct very well, because our psychoanalysis, the unconscious with the instincts, and Carl Jung actually tried to map some kind of cognition, and with the hierarchy of the a position order, a static position order, actually make actually more something that is vertical, something like that is solid at the bottom, but it can be wrong in many fronts, but in some sense he actually pinned down pretty well the fundamental categories, just that I guess he missed the human needs in some fashion in other portion of the thing, but he still did both of them. So he named them cognition and cognitive function, In my sense, instinctual function will have been more accurate actually, but because he's a TI guy, I guess, he actually named that cognitive function, which is fair, but whatever. So I hope it was insightful, and it was somewhat clear. I feel like it can help a lot of people see, okay, our system may miss something, and I guess the cognitive system, the problem is that they will assess skills. So they will say, because you have cognition, and that your behaviors fall into some kind of cognition, they will infer that you have some kind of mechanics automatically, but it's not always true. And they will just not see the instincts at all. They kind of have a blind spot there. And the motivation system, I already said it. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Have a great one.